What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. I just came back from seeing Scream 6, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it was a very fun experience. Seeing everybody that was there at the movies dressed up in, with the little, with their Scream shirts, it was definitely something I would definitely never forget. I think not only did I get to see the movie, but it was different because when I went in, I got to see it in 3D, and I haven't seen a movie in 3D in quite a long time. I can't even remember the last time I seen a movie in 3D, if I want to be honest with you guys. But we gotta talk. This is my spoiler-free review on Scream 6. I did. If I'm looking over to the side, it's because I did jot down some notes, so it kind of helps me keep a little bit of on task a little bit, just in case if I do. So we gotta run through this. I'm gonna give you guys the things I like, didn't like too much, but we won't spoil it very much. Hopefully I don't spoil it for you guys. If I do, I'm sorry, but I'm just going by what I saw and would fit into the narrative of me be doing a spoiler free. Then we will jump into full breakdown spoilers on Monday, so be on the lookout for that. So we got to get into the opening scene. The opening sequence, I feel, in my personal opinion, was unique. They did something we never got to see before. I think, and especially with the setting that they did, I feel like the setting definitely, on paper, for me first, I didn't think it would fit because I was thinking it was like, oh, they're just going in the direction of doing like a Jason's Take Manhattan type of scenario. But they did something different. They used the setting to its finest. I think they did a very good job with the setting and using the different things around it. For sure, I think that the setting alone was great. It was a perfect. Okay, now we gotta talk about some of the things that they did. They paid respect to some of the legacy characters. They paid respect to Sydney. I think what they did with her, not her not being in the movie, I was very kind of hesitant on how they would handle that and the explanation why she's not there. But they did a good job by, saying, oh, in the movie, I'm not gonna say too much. Hopefully, this is not saying too much, but them just pretty much saying, she's protecting somebody. I'm fine with that. I thought they was gonna give me a lousy excuse of why she's not there. That's the one thing that I hope they didn't do, and I'm glad they didn't do that. Another thing is you. Here's the thing with the legacy characters. For example, for those who don't, I already pretty much got into that. Um, I'm I would love to see how it would have been. My only thing with this with Sydney, right? I was kind of interested to see how they did with the whole shrine thing. Imagine, Sydney, going through the shrine and seeing all the things that's in the shrine and how it's connected to her and her past. I would love to see that type of sequence, and seeing the different characters that she's had interactions with over the course of these 6 movies, right, up to this point. So I don't know how they. I would have loved to see it, but things happen, and I'm not. I'm gonna sit here. I'm not gonna just sit here and just say like, oh, I'm mad that Sydney didn't be in the movie. Was it a little sad that she wasn't being in the movie? Yeah, it was kind of sad, and especially with us not having Dewey in the movie, R.I.P. But I think they were able to pay homage to him as well through the conversations that people would have and the pictures. I love you know making sure that some of these characters that we've seen throughout these movies are not forgotten as if they didn't exist. That's what you will want to see. Us horror fans don't want us to feel like some of the characters that we love in these franchises aren't getting the type of credibility that they deserve because some of them tend to get forgotten, and I'm glad they didn't go with that in this movie. Now we got to talk about the shrine, man. The shrine was used perfectly. I felt like it would have been. I think it served its purpose because it made the interaction with these characters, knowing that somebody that they had some type of relationship with was in the shrine through, whether if it was through some of the clothing, some of the things that happened with them, or pictures, stuff like that, right? I love that. Another thing we also have to talk about is how they handled the survivors of the last film, or in this case, the core four, which I'm all for. I love that name. That's gonna stick with me. The core four consisting of Chad, Mindy, Tara, and Sam. They handled these people, these characters, very well because we got to see more development. We got to give they get we've seen them in the other films or the other Scream Five, but we didn't really get to dive in too much with them. And I feel like the characters were fleshed out and they gave us, more to get to sink our teeth into as fans. And I'm very interested to see how they handle the development with these characters over the upcoming movies that we do potentially get to see. Because I know there is a rumor out there that Scream 7 might be potentially on the way within, as far as filming wise, by the end of this year. I'm all for that. Now, we also got to talk about how this movie took me on a ride of emotions from start to finish. That is what I love about a movie, especially a horror movie. I love how it takes you on a ride of emotions. Like 1 minute you're just so happy to see this character, then boom, something happens. They're in the fire of their life. I love going through that because it makes me feel like I'm right there in the center of it all, or possibly even in the movie itself. I love being in that type of. I love that type of feeling. I do. Now, I will say, one thing I will say, I don't. This might be a little spoiler, but this is probably the only spoiler I'm gonna give. Chad, he did great in this movie. I gotta give him. They made this man seem like. Okay, I usually don't like to use comparisons, but in this case, I'm gonna have to. They made Chad the new Dewey in this movie. Now I know there's like some people say there's only one and only, but they made this man the new Dewey because you'll find out in my real spoiler review, my spoiler full review. But they handled Chad, made him the new Dewey. I'm interested to see how they do it because he's becoming my favorite. He's becoming my favorite very quickly. Now we got to talk about some of the things that I didn't like. Now, we all know there's no perfect movie. Every movie is gonna have its ups and its downs. That's pretty much a given. Now, what I will say about me watching Scream 6, there was a lot that I liked about it, and I had my few gripes here and there. But one of the things that I didn't like is how they handled the reveal and the motive. I think the reveal. Here's the thing. Sometimes the killer or the reveals don't always hold up, but what sometimes can hold it up at the same time is the motive. If the motive really doesn't hold up, it's kind of like, here's how I put it. The motive can make or break a killer. If you give it a weak motive, then that's just gonna diminish the character or the killer overall. You can if you have a good motive, you can be like a Billy. Billy had a great motive. Or you could be like a Charlie Walker and just pretty much just have a very bad motive. If you know, if for those who've seen Scream 4. Now, what I will say about it, even if you do guess the killer, right? I think one thing that they need to expand upon is how they handle the motive. They need to amp it up just a little bit. I see what they're doing, but they need to amp up the motive for these killers to actually. Oh, because here's what I will compare this. Scream 5, they didn't have the very best of killers, but the motive hold up because it was based on toxic fandom. And everybody can seem to relate to that in some way, shape, or form. And I think for this one, they didn't really do as much as far as the motive. Yeah, it was just good old fashioned revenge, but it's like. I understand that, but it doesn't really hold up when you compare it to what a horror movie in the horror movie world will look like. Like toxic fandom. That's something horror people can connect to. Revenge, anybody connect to that, even people who are not horror fans. But this is supposed to be for horror fans generally. So I definitely think that is something that they could. I think they could expand upon maybe in the next film. Another thing I got to talk about that I loved about it, the gore. The gore they had in this movie. You thought Scream 5 had all the gore in the world? No. You have not seen anything yet. From the camera cuts to the stabbings and then the twisting of the knife. Oh my god. The blood and gore was top tier. You know you cannot have a good movie, a good horror movie, without great blood and gore. You can't. There's no way. I know some people probably might say, "Oh, there's been exceptions." No, not really, not really, just not really. You can't have a good horror movie, or good scream movie without blood and gore. Like this one definitely amped it up in that. This one definitely amped it up. They stepped up from Scream 5. I thought I've seen everything with Scream 5 with blood and gore. Nope, they exceeded my expectations just like that, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I I literally generally watched this movie not once but twice, and my god, it's just took me on a ride of emotions over and over again. I'm still going through it even though I'm at home. I'm still feel like I'm there, and I'm gonna you know be honest. I love this movie. I'm probably gonna go back and watch it again. I feel like it's I might just have to do it for the third time, but we will see. Um, Comment down below. Have you guys seen Scream 6 just yet already, or are you about to go see it? For those who have seen it, give me your thoughts and opinions. Did you like it? What did you like? What did you didn't like? Do you agree with some of my takes and everything that I kind of said about Scream 6 and my spoiler-free reveal? I mean, not reveal, but review. And we will go full in depth, more in depth with the breakdown, and then the full spoilers will be coming out Monday, so you guys do not want to miss that. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, hit the post notification bell so every time I post a new video. We're on the road to 500. For all my Scream fans out there, I hope you guys love the movie just as much as I did. Or even if you're not a horror fan, but if you're going to see this movie and you loved it just as much as me, I hope you guys enjoyed it because I sure did. And I'm gonna go watch it again. That's is pretty much gonna be a guaranteed at this point. But that's the end of this video. I appreciate you guys kicking it with me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.